Welcome to Get Valiant number 150. It is a great day, and it is awesome. And we got a special guest, Gregg Katzman. Welcome along.
How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for having me, especially on the 150th show. I'm really, really honored to be on tonight.
The big 150.
Yeah. And also, congratulations to you guys for doing this every week and reaching 150. That's a huge accomplishment.
It's been a long time, long road, but it's always cool when we hit these kind of milestone episodes, and it's always nice when we can do something. So just so people are aware, not only do we have Gregg on the episode, we're going to give some stuff away. I've got a couple things that I'm going to be giving away as well, so hopefully people stick around and can win some stuff. But I just want to say thanks again, Gregg, for taking your time, putting the time aside and coming and chatting with us and talking about Valiant.
I'm happy to do it because this may sound like a lie, but it's not. Even if I wasn't on with you guys right now, I'd be watching on my phone. I do every week, so I am tuning in, and whenever you guys give the shout out, it means a lot, and I always look forward to your honest thoughts every Wednesday.
You heard us poop on some
It's
books.
funny you put it that way, because I used to just record my episodes on the phone the entire time when we did this.
And hats off to you, Josh and Eric. I know I've been along for like the last couple months, but you guys, what a good 4 years of doing this so far.
Has it really been 4 years?
Dude,
I know I lived at my old house.
WhoDooTV's been on for 3+ years now, and I talked to you at Emerald City Comic Con, Josh, first, before I even started WhoDooTV, so, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like my favorite thing about even doing this is that someone actually took something I said and was like, that's what I need to do. I need to do what Josh said. So either I'm awesome or you're a fool. I don't know which one.
I've regretted it ever since.
The great thing about it is that it ended up working out, because when we were like, we really want to step up our show, we were like, who's the guy to talk to? Obviously, Hooser. So It all comes back around.
I'll tell you what, that conversation at Emerald City has paid off big time.
Yep.
Yeah. John.
Yep.
Are all you guys going to Emerald this year?
Josh and I are both going to go. Eric is unfortunately our lone man out.
Sorry to hear that, Eric. You guys there's going to be a lot of really fun Valiant stuff at Emerald this year. Eric, even though you won't be there, you will still be able to enjoy all the updates. You will not be left out, I promise.
Yeah, I know the stuff will be posted, but there's no substitute for being there, so I'm definitely jealous of the guys that'll get to go.
I always try to make the hurt a little less by giving Eric a bunch of stuff, so it'll be okay.
We just ask for extra gold books when we get there.
Eric always gets a care package from me after Emerald City.
That's nice, man. That's really nice of you.
And coming back, everybody on the live, thanks for jumping in live with the live chat. Let us know you're on here, because we will be doing a giveaway. And just say GV, hashtag GV150, so we know you want it. And we'll be giving a couple different things. So, specific. We want to see that. And Matthew Klein, thanks for jumping on, seeing your friend and employee Gregg on here there. It's kind of great to have some Valiant people
I
say
gotta behave if Matthew's watching. I got to be careful what I say.
Hey, this is overtime, though. I mean, come on. It's 10 o'clock where you're at.
I think,
you're off the clock. It's all, anything goes, right?
This is all off the record, right? No one's watching. It's all. So let me tell you about the next 5 books we have coming out.
Yes! Let's do it.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So Gregg, we know that you have been a Valiant fan before you were a Valiant employee. So tell us about your love for Valiant.
Sure. So I'm not going to lie to you and be like, I'm a lifelong Valiant fan. I was there when Bloodshot #1 came out the same day of Death of Superman and all that. I wish I could say that. That's not the case with me, though. I grew up loving Marvel and DC. The animated shows hooked me as a kid. That got me into the comics, the action figures, everything else. And around 2010 or so, I started working for Comic Vine. I was very active on the forums there. I became a moderator and then staff. And when the Summer of Valiant was announced for 2012, I viewed it as a good opportunity to try something new. Because as a kid, my only experience with Valiant was the Exo Manowar Iron Man heavy metal game on Game Gear. That was it. And without knowing it, I played Turok as well. Had no idea it was a Valiant property when I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
that Exo game's terrible.
I have no interest in playing it anytime soon, but I enjoyed it as a kid. I will say that. Is that a safe answer? Yeah. So when Summer of Valiant came around, as I said, I was writing for Comic Vine. I figured here is a brand new universe, an alternative option to Marvel and DC that is promoting itself as accessible for core fans, pre-existing Valiant fans. It was, here's the thing you loved. We're bringing it back and doing something new with it. For people like me, it was, hey, you love Marvel, you love DC, you love all this stuff. Here's a new universe to step into. So I remember going to the shop when Exo #1 came out on that new comic book day. Venditti and Nord. I picked it up, I read it, and I wanted more. I really liked it. And then I don't remember the exact order of Summer of Valiant. I don't recall if it was Harbinger or Bloodshot next, and then Archer and Armstrong. But regardless, I enjoyed all of them, and my interest only grew and grew over time. So I started. Now, over on Comic Vine, it was a very small staff. It was myself, Matt Elfring, who's currently with GameSpot, and Tony Guerrero, who has a website now called Entertainment Fish. Which he's primarily a teacher, but he still does this on the side because he's super passionate about the medium. So if you want to, please go check that out. I love both those guys. And we all read Valiant, but I was kind of viewed as like the Valiant guy there because I kept writing more and more about Valiant, and I kept finding new ways to work Valiant into bigger articles to try to get people interested. I did articles like Valiant, the publisher to watch. In my Battle of the Week segment, I would put like Exo Manowar against Colossus or Ninjak versus Cyclops. I tried to introduce Marvel and DC fans to Valiant characters in new ways. And of course, during my time at Comic Vine, I was lucky enough to go to the office, the Valiant office, a few times, conduct interviews with all the people there. And I totally fell in love with the universe. And I am beyond fortunate to now be a part of the company. It's still surreal to me, but I am beyond grateful, and not a day goes by where I take it for granted. And I consider myself a fan first and foremost while I'm there every day, and that's one of the best parts about working there is you're surrounded by people who, we all have different views on who these characters are and what makes them special. But at the end of the day, we all just want to tell the best stories possible with these characters. And we want to bring them in new directions as opposed to, doing more of what has already happened. Because no one wants to read the same story twice. You don't want to try to, bring back Harbinger as Dice Art Light, for example. Dice Art told his phenomenal run. And now you want to bring Harbinger in a new direction instead of trying to just redo what he already did. You want to respect his work and then try to do something new. Or at least that's how many of us feel. And I'm very eager to see how you guys feel about what we have coming up.
Oh, man. Talking Harbinger. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. And I'm really excited.
A lot that hasn't even been announced yet.
Oh man.
We can talk more about
if you want to drop any big announcements, you're more than welcome.
There are dates that I can tease and make you aware of. For example, if you are excited about Shadow Man, if you're keeping an eye on our social, our digital marketing manager, Emily Hecht, she's been doing a brilliant job. She's been dropping these really fun Shadow Man teasers. I see Matthew in the comments, Gregg, ... What I can say is we are going to share something later this week, which may or may not give you a look at interiors for a book that may or may not be Shadow Man and may or may not be Savage. I guess you'll just have to watch what we release to find out. And if you are a fan of horror, if you are a fan of Shadow Man, next week, it's looking like it'll be a really exciting time for you guys. Definitely keep an eye out next week.
Matthew Klein's on the chat saying, what do we think about the Shadow Man teasers? And I personally am loving it. I know we had Robert on, and he talked about it being dark. And that's kind of what I'm seeing from it. And that's kind of what I like. I'm hoping we get some Ben Templesmith on there, because some of that stuff reminds me of his work. And just love that dark, gritty story. of Shadow Man. I don't think it's ever been dark enough. So that's what I'm enjoying it. So I'm liking the teasers.
I suspect you will be very happy about what we release, and I look forward to your honest reaction when we do release more.
Mm-hmm.
But for this book, it is first and foremost a horror book. So we are going full horror with Shadow Man.
I think that's great.
Really awesome.
You know, I really liked where the series ended. It was unfortunate that it ended where it did with 11 issues, but at the same time, I think that Shadow Man's in a great place where I would hope at least the next writer who picks up the character will be able to kind of get going right out the gate with the character instead of having to kind of fix what happened with the previous run. That's kind of how it felt when Diggle jumped on the book, where he had to kind of get things back to where it needed to be in order to tell a story.
Right.
Yes, the writer of this book, I won't say who they are. I will refer to them as a master of horror.
R.L. Stein, yes.
Oh, it's Clive Barker? Oh, awesome.
No, it's full speed ahead. And every chapter, it's building to something bigger, but just kind of like with Quantum and Woody, where each issue is kind of like a standalone adventure. In this case, it's a standalone horror story, but there's an overarching storyline, which is leading to something I won't say anything else about. But I am very excited to see how you guys react to it, because it sounds like we're giving you exactly what you want, but again, I look forward to your honest feedback when we get those pages out there. And again, later this week, currently slated for Friday, you may or may not get a sneak peek at the book. We'll just have to wait and see.
So we have a bone to pick with you. Our show's on Wednesday. Why do you do this on Friday to us, man?
Why does it solicits come out on Thursday? They can't ever come out on a Wednesday night at 8:15.
Comic book day, man. You can't drop big news on NCBD. You got to make the focus the comics.
I guess we need to change the day altogether.
It makes too much sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least there's a reason, okay? We just thought you hated us, so it's good.
Yes, the entire solicitation system has been set up in such a way to screw us over.
We're kind of
it feels like it sometimes.
It's Thursdays that they drop on Newsarama, then Fridays they go wide. So you guys just miss it, but it gives you something for next week's episode.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're also seeing an image of Savage up there. And I actually don't think I got the preview image of Harbinger and what was the other one? A Ninjak. We had some Valiant 2020s of those two teased out there. So what do we know about those?
Okay, well, we haven't flat out said they're Ninjak, Harbinger, or Savage. Those seem like very good guesses, though.
I'm assuming and making an ass out of myself. I'm sorry, but...
No, man. Yeah, so, look, Harbinger, Ninjak, Savage, they are all returning in 2020. That was on the cover of our... when we got the cover of previews with that John Boy Bloodshot on, Year of Heroes, Harbinger was there, Ninjak was there, Savage was there. So these characters are returning this year. As for when they're returning, I can't say that yet, but we do know when. It's just a matter of the proper announcement coming out at a later date, and we'll make sure it's worth the wait, I promise. But as for those books, what can I say? Oh, man. So obviously I can't say anything about the creative team. What I can say is they will be ongoings. Ninjak, Shadow Man, Harbinger, those will be ongoings. And like I said before, the objective is to tell a new story with these properties, to do something different. We want to bring back the characters that, were kind of MIA in 2019, a lot of the core characters, but we don't just want to tell the story that you've already seen before. We want to try to do something new, and I am very, very excited to see what you guys have to say. I know it feels like a non-answer, man. I really can't say more. Matthew's in the comments. He's watching. He's my boss. I can't say more than that. But I am very, very excited to see how you guys react to each of those because, again, everyone involved is doing something new with these characters because, they feel it's a great way to breathe new energy while respecting what's come before. And so I'm very, 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 very anxious to get the news out there and see how you guys react.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Savage, I love the art, man. I absolutely love the art. it is going in a direction that I guarantee none of you see coming. The storyline, none of you guys have any idea what's going to happen here. It is absolutely wild, which is a very appropriate word for this book. But, oh man, I just love the artwork in that book. And it has got a ton of action, which you guys may or may not have seen before the episode.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rubbing it in people's faces, and I don't want to, but we did get to see a little snippet, just a little thing, and I like that you used the word wild, because that is definitely the expression that I took away from what we got to see. Savage needs to be savage, and it looks like that's a direction that we're going to get to go. And obviously what we saw was very little, but I'm definitely hoping that everything else that comes after follows suit. And if so, I'll be happy.
What I showed you guys was only the second page of the book.
Ooh, yes.
And it's on the page that is immediately after that Valiant 2020 teaser for the book. So I'm sure you guys see the connection now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be amazing, and it looks like it's going to be savage. I'm hoping. It's just seeing a little bit of art is really awesome. Now all I want to know is everything about the story.
So what I can say about Savage and the story and the creative team is that Emerald City Comic-Con will be a very exciting time for Savage fans. And again, if you're at the show, you'll hear the news first, more than likely. But if you're not at the show, you'll still get to enjoy all the updates.
But it'll be better if you're at the show, basically.
There's something special about news dropping in a panel, being a part of it and here before anyone else. So that's something we're aware of. Yeah. But yeah, afterwards, everyone will get to enjoy the news as well. I see Matthew dropping a bunch of dots.
It's one of our ongoing things is to heckle Eric about not coming, even because me and Josh will be there. So we wish you were there, buddy. But it's going to be great. And one of the questions that we had online was from Sean Hayes. Are those going? When you said they were going to be kind of like new stories, is reboots, or are they kind of still staying in continuity?
No, nothing is technically a reboot. Okay. Nothing is a fresh slate and a fresh universe or anything like that. It's taking that character and putting them in a new story. The number one, it acknowledges what has come before for these books, but it wants to also be able to tell something new and make sure it's accessible to someone who, for some reason beyond me, hasn't picked up a Valiant book yet. For example, Exo Man War #1. You guys have read that. As you saw, it's taking him in a totally new direction, but it's not a total reboot. Shadow Man going to do the same. The other books, you'll just have to wait and see. Can't comment on those just yet.
Awesome. Fair enough.
But no, none of them are reboots.
It sounds like it'll be similar to what we got with Bloodshot. I mean, within the first few issues, Seeley was giving us callbacks to previous things and giving us kind of, saying these things have happened before, but obviously he's not trying to rewrite what Jeff Lemire did with the character. He's not trying to redo what Straczynski did or anything like that. He's taking Bloodshot in a new direction. And so I've really enjoyed that. So thinking that we're going to take that same kind of approach with the new properties coming is definitely exciting for me, because that to me means that I get to read new stories, get to experience new takes on the character, and I think that's always a good thing.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep. And we hit it on Bloodshot, and I wanted to just talk about a little of the things that have came out recently, and what your thoughts are on them, like Quantum and Woody #1 having been released a week ago, right? Or was that 2 weeks ago? And then we have continuing to have Bloodshot, continuing The Visitor right now, and so some awesome stories coming out. So
yeah. So today was a big day for Bloodshot and Rye. We had Bloodshot #6, which that's the conclusion of the second story arc, so that'll be collected in Bloodshot Book 2. We have Rye number 4, which, well, first of all, before I say anything, have you guys read either of them yet?
Yes.
I have.
Okay, so honestly, how'd you guys? I know you guys are going to do a full review episode next week. I apologize for interrupting the review episode,
but that's okay. We'd much rather do an interview episode.
Yeah.
I dug them both. Those are my two favorite books that you guys got out right now. So I'm loving what Tim Seeley's doing. Brett Booth's art just fits the character right. I think we've all kind of said that here. And then just Abnett and Rip are, that story is just phenomenal with Rye right now and where they're at. I'm digging both.
Yeah, I think that on both of these books, the art is really shining for me. I think Brett Booth is such a great pick for a Bloodshot book because his art looks like really good 90s action art. And to me, Bloodshot is just, from his name to the premise behind him, he's such a 90s comics action hero. And I think that, it's okay to try to steer him in different directions like Lemire did, but I think that Seeley and Booth have been kind of leaning into that, and I think it's worked really well. So, and I think, like I said, the art really shines, and Juan Jose Ripa is always consistently drawing some amazing, amazing pages. So I think for both of those books, as much as I love the writing, I think the art has really shined on both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reap's my favorite artist, pretty much doing comics right now. And so having him on a monthly book has been a real treat, but also, and I've said this before, I love the 4001 storyline with Valiant. I love seeing things happening with it. Mm-hmm. So I would probably say right now, Rye is my favorite book. Just a little bit better than Bloodshot, but I just like what's going on with it. I just think there's so much potential there for the whole universe, really, in that timeline.
Yeah.
Juan is him and Dan Abnett, they are super far ahead on Rye, man. I know that you guys have a page from Rye, exclusive for this episode. I'm not even going to tell you what issues that's from. You're going to see that in a comic months from now, and wonder how you got that so far ahead. He has just been killing it on that book. Dan Abnett, he's been doing a job with the world building and the character driven story. He has such big plans for the book, and at Valiant we would be very lucky if we got to work with him on another book down the road. It's a killer creative team, and then you got Andrew Dahlhaus on the colors. It's just a gorgeous looking book, and I'm not even going to say anything about that splash page that you guys have there, what issue it's in, what's going on. I'll just let you speculate if you want to, but it's
so
more of the speed and action.
The first thing that came to me when I saw that was I remember that really badass moment in issue number 1 where Rye is like just destroying that entire group of marauders or whatever, and that was super badass. And this just looks like that, but up the badassery factor by like 10, which is amazing. It looks so cool.
Yeah,
I agree, man. I love that you can see the individual, attacks in there, whereas before he was moving so fast that it looked like he's just walking, and everyone around him is going flying, including dinosaurs and vehicles. And here you see every single strike he's doing. I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just gorgeous. And like you mentioned, Dollhouse, that group of Rip and him are just phenomenal together. And Matthew Klein said that you guys are pretty far ahead, and you were saying that too. And I remember at like Rose City this last year, I think Lisa and Robert were saying like issue 6 or something, and that was like during before issue 1. It's pretty phenomenal. So
yeah, they're very far ahead. While Dan was writing Fallen World, he was also writing Rye.
Well, I'm glad that they came out so quickly together. I know that was kind of a source of controversy with everybody wanting EXO as soon as possible, which not like I can blame anybody for wanting that EXO book, especially having read the first issue. I'm excited for it to come out as well. But yeah, having Fallen World, which was such a hit, that was such a great book, being able to quickly turn it around and follow it up with the Rise story, I think was really good. And knowing that they're far ahead makes it even better that we're getting the story as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, same for me, man. Because back when, I wasn't with Valiant, I was with Comic Vine, Rye was easily one of my favorite Valiant books. And then, of course, 4001 was so good. So it was a real treat getting to not only see the follow-up to those books, but seeing the behind the scenes as well, man. Like, every day we just get to see new art and read new scripts. It's surreal being a part of the company and seeing all this stuff in advance. There's so much that I wish I could tell you guys, but I cannot because I like working there and I don't want to be fired. So I can't say it.
We won't press you too hard.
Right. Well, we appreciate at least this image to get this right now. Get that out early. Like, just a phenomenal looking image.
Yeah, I mean, the 150th episode, I wanted to give you guys something cool from, a book that I know you guys love. And then also there were the two other things before the episode. I know you feel a little guilty about seeing that before anyone else.
No.
But
No guilt.
Not at
No
all.
guilt.
I guess I'm the only one with a heart. I will say that if we're going to go ahead and talk about what you showed us that we can't show anybody else, that Final Witness image, I am so excited for Final Witness, and everything that we've gotten to see has been so awesome, and the thing that you showed us looks like this is just going to be... It looks like this is going to be right up my alley, and it just makes me that much more excited. Like, the art style of what you showed us, to me, is exactly what I would hope for from this. So I'm really pumped.
yeah, that was just so everyone knows, they got to see a splash page of Jeremy's work. I won't say anything more than that, but yeah, man, Ray Fox, he's such a good choice for this kind of story. And Jeremy, as you saw the artwork there, he could do the superhero, but he can also do the noir angle as well. It's a really cool blend of two genres, and I'm really, really excited to see all the speculation once the first issue drops, to hear where you guys think the storyline is going, what you think the title means. There's just a lot in store for this book, and I am really, really pumped to see you guys check out the full issue and start speculating.
Yeah.
I can't be any happier with Jeremy Hans on it. I dig his work. I liked The Realm a lot, and then The Beauty's been great, and he's writing now too. I was gonna say The Red Mother, but he's writing that, not doing art on that. So
Yeah, writing.
Oh, man. Speaking of new things coming, we did have a question in the chat asking if you could potentially tell us, since we've gotten, there's that novelization of the Bloodshot movie that came out, there's the Faith novel that's coming out. Are there any other plans that you can tell us about to do more in the novel space from Valiant characters?
So I have a very elaborate answer for you. Yes. Yes.
yes,
Oh,
awesome.
Okay, thanks.
I mean,
I'm glad that we can dig into that.
Hey, man.
those closed-in questions don't work. We got to open those suckers up.
People come here for the answers, and they just got one. Okay, so I don't know if that's true, you guys.
Definitive too.
That is true. That was an answer.
Yeah.
Everything will be revealed in due time. But yes.
And
that's good to hear. I think it's good to branch out into new areas, and if it brings new fans into the characters and the universe, then everybody wins.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, how did you guys get into comics? Did you start with comics, or were you introduced through something else?
So I liked I got into comics as an adult, so I liked the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and my wife was like, you should read the comics, and I was like, I don't know. She was like, no, really, you should pick up the comics. They're pretty good. And so I checked out some Batman comics, and I was hooked on the medium of comics. And from there was when I found Valiant, and I went from being mainly a Batman fan to being a Bloodshot fan because Valiant rules. So
what was do you remember the first Batman comic you read?
I picked up the trades of Nightfall.
Nice, man. So is Bane your favorite villain, or do you have a different favorite?
So it's really hard for me to say anymore. There was a time when I would have said Joker was my favorite villain, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I do think that when he's done correctly, Bane is my favorite villain. My problem is that a lot of Bane stories I've read, I don't think he's done correctly.
That's fair. Sometimes he's portrayed as a brute instead of intelligent.
Right.
But bringing it back to Valiant, since we are talking about Batman and Bloodshot, who do you think wins?
Oh my God, we gotta go there.
We have to.
So,
we have to. I love that stuff.
I think that just
you have a commission.
Yeah.
Yep.
The commissions my wife got me. I think that actually she nailed it when she got those commissions done. I think that it's going to be a difficult fight. I see Batman doing some real damage to Bloodshot, especially since he can. He can do more damage to Bloodshot without worrying about permanent, injury than he could to a normal opponent. So I think that it's going to be a good fight. But at the end of the day, as long as Bloodshot has had a big meal beforehand, he can keep going longer than Batman can. Batman's going to tire out.
Okay, so I see in the comments, Matthew Klein, my boss, said Batman. I think that gives me the ability to fire him, right?
Man, what company are you working for, Matthew?
No, I agree 100% with everything you said, Eric. I think it's a great fight, but in the end, I'm giving that to Bloodshot.
Yep. Yeah, I'd have to say I got into mine with first meeting Adam West at a old school PopCon. And so
wow.
I was a little kid. I have the picture somewhere. I have to find it. And after meeting a guy dressed up as Batman, kind of knowing who he was by the shows, and then I think Batman. Trying to think of what Batman story mine was. I think it was The Legend of the Dark Knight.
Okay.
It was all right. And then I got into I saw Exo Manowar, the Zero issue. That was kind of that. The Chromes got me back then. I think the other one I had was like Shadowhawk, one of Shadowhawk's Don't Meet Your Heroes. But that was kind of, I was going with that and then kind of went with Exo.
Wait, are you talking about the Shadow Man issue where
No,
the reveal happens?
Talking about Shadowhawk.
Oh, Shadowhawk, that's what I mean. The Shadowhawk issue where he pulls off the helmet?
Yeah.
Ugh. Weird issue.
Yep. But
Can't even talk about it on the air.
Yeah, and it's been Valiant since. When Josh has told his story, right, about Death of Superman.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when Gregg brought that up because that's literally my introduction to Valiant. Because I was at the shop to get the Death of Superman with my friend, and I saw Bloodshot #1 on the stand, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy that too." So those are the only two books I bought, and from there I became a Valiant fan. But I was a fan of comics since I was 6.
Wow.
We lived right by a 7-Eleven when I lived in Illinois, and I would just buy comics all the time. And I was a Marvel fan until probably about the time I bought Bloodshot #1, because at that time I also discovered DC. I bought a Batman book 2 months before Superman died. But yeah, I was mostly a Marvel fan for a long time, and then Valiant.
Yep. And what was it? What were we going to talk about? Something that's coming new that somebody might fall in love with in the very near future, and that's Dr. Tomorrow. Dude, we've all got to read the first couple issues here, and unanimously really enjoyed the crap out of it. So
yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that, man. And at the time we're recording this, Tomorrow #1 is now only a week away. Drops February 19th. This, in my opinion, it's really unlike anything that Valiant's done before. I know that, the creative team has really poured their soul into this book. Robert and Drew over at Valiant, they're having a ton of fun working on it as well. And I think that really shows in the pages. And, you guys have read the first issue. You've read an inked version, second one. I can hype it up as much as I want, but at the end of the day, what you guys say, that's really what's going to matter at the end of the day. And it really means a lot to hear that you guys, you sincerely love it, because it's trying something a little different, which was a bit of a risk, but it's a super fun book, and it's building up to some really big stuff, and Man, I wish I could show you guys more. But there's some big stuff coming in that book, and it is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, books like this where we get it so far in advance are always so hard for us because we get so excited about the work that we read, but we can't tell anybody anything, and we've had these issues for at least a month. We're like, sorry guys, we can't tell you, but
Right.
Yeah.
I hope people really enjoy it because I do recognize it too, that it is something different than what Valiant's done. And it does, in a way, feel like it comes back from like a different era of Valiant, like nothing that's been done in like the last 7 years, but like a little bit farther back. But I think that's what makes it really great, is it does kind of feel like a little bit more superhero-y. It's okay to have a cape in a Valiant book.
And it makes sense, too. There's actually science behind it in this story, which is great. I love what Alejandro's done with things like that. He's took a whole element out of this book that is kind of based on science and, physics, and I love the way he's done that. And, dude, Toe's art, I never really knew about him too much, and I enjoy it now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. So obviously the cover's got a real good variety of covers there. Each artist is bringing something different. And I know you guys discussed this back in the day when the covers were released, but refresh my memory, which I think most of you guys were with the Kenneth Rockefort or the Stacey Lee. I just love that cover says something different with it.
Right.
I like that we get the different versions of the character, and we get Hadrian, and we get there's just so much, like you said, like a lot of variety. But I will say that Rockefort cover is something special. That I really, really like that cover a lot. I don't know what it is, but that cover has got to be my favorite.
And the Braithwaite, too. Kind of paying homage to the guy who, was one of the co-creators of that, and that cover just said a lot of it, too, on the pre-orders. So, smart move, doing one of the top covers on the pre-order. I like that. So, that wasn't done by design. So.
Yeah, I actually like the last one. I've seen some images online where it looks like it's going to show all the different versions of Dr. Tomorrow on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that done by the interior artist?
You're talking about the wraparound cover?
Yeah.
By Jim Toe.
Yeah.
It's got all of them. That one's phenomenal. And we know that this is, a 5-issue series, and hoping that, I know Alejandro said he's got more, so I know all of us are kind of hoping, even just from the 2 issues we see, and we're hoping that another series comes out, another maxi or something, 12 issues, so it's been fun.
Yeah. You guys had that great chat with Alejandro recently. He's a former editor of Valiant. Actually, he is incredibly well versed in the Valiant universe. I think it shows in this book. Right now it's introducing the world to this character. And if the world says we love it, we want more, we are happy to provide that. But ultimately, that's going to be up to you guys, the fans. But right now, we are very happy with this story that we're putting out, and we'll wait and see where Dr. Tomorrow goes from there.
Awesome.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
And then another small title with Valiant's coming out in the near future, Exo Manowar. That is Oderic of Dacia. He is ready to take action, man. And I'm digging, art again. Emilio's art's great in this.
Yeah, dude. Seeing those layouts come in, and then the pencils and inks, dude, it is. And then the colors on top of it, it has been surreal seeing the development of this book. But you guys have, like you said before, the double-edged sword of, getting to read stuff early. Where you get to read it early and form your opinions, but you got to wait until it actually drops. So you guys have all three of you read it? I don't recall.
Yeah.
Yep.
So please feel free to unleash your honest thoughts here, because that would technically be an exclusive, I think. Aside from, the pull quotes that are on the promo piece. Those are other people in the press who I've given it to, and I've asked them, look, guys, if you like it, you're welcome to share a quote. If you don't like it, that's cool, too. And thankfully, a lot of people are really liking it. And but I'll let you guys talk and share your honest thoughts on it.
So I would say that my biggest takeaway is that one of my favorite things about the Robert Venditti run was that he was really good at mixing this huge action, high stakes, all kinds of crazy stuff going on, while also bringing in small, little, intimate character moments. And I feel like this book is giving us that duality of Exo Manowar's life, where he's kind of just a guy. Like, he's not. Mm-hmm. He's got his own struggles because he's time displaced and he's got all these things going on. So he's trying to live a life and forge a life for himself, but at the same time, he's friggin' Exo Manowar, right? So, like, he's got all this Exo Manowar stuff going on, and, like, yeah, that was probably the thing that I enjoyed the most, was the way that the issue kind of played with those two polar opposites.
Mm. Okay, so I'll go next. For me, I feel like it's a nice fresh start for the character. Mm. So it doesn't feel like a reboot or anything like that. So it's not like it's a brand new origin or anything like that. But I think that sometimes when you have these runs that are defined by the writer. So we had Venditti's run, and Venditti's run doesn't feel anything like Kent's run. And I feel like so far with this first issue, it feels nothing like Kent's run either. So I like that there's room to breathe with the character. It feels like a lot of fresh ground. And like Eric was saying too, because Eric and I both agree about those human moments that Venditti used to do. I like that we're seeing a little bit of that too. It never really felt he got those too much when he was on the planet Gorham or whatever it was called. But like at the same time though, there was a lot of great action in that book. So far I think one thing I do wish is I could have seen the whole issue colored, just because I think our copy had like 2 pages colored, and the colors look phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just looks unreal. It's so great. The art is fantastic.
Ruth is killing the
I think the image that I'm looking at right now, where it shows like an alien flying through space and like Exo's going through like a ship or something like that. That's like the only page I think we had colored, and it just looks awesome.
Yeah. Check your emails tomorrow.
Okay.
Check the emails tomorrow. Yes. I enjoyed the art a lot in this. I actually really liked Dennis's dialogue. And there were some things that without the color kind of where I couldn't really tell the whole story without getting into details that made me... I'm hoping they get explained more in future issues. So I'm not completely passing judgment on that because I understand we can't get it all out in one issue. And so I'm hoping that there's some things there. So, and I don't want to get too much detail or spoiler on things right now, but it wasn't
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the whole thing colored. So
yeah,
the couple pages that are showing on here and the covers. I think the covers are all looking really awesome. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
The one where he's like, whatever that is that he's doing. That one. It looks like I don't know how to say his name. Esad Ribic. I don't know how to say his name. It looks like his Is that who it is?
Yeah, he's done a bunch of really good covers for Valiant over the year. He did one for, actually, the old Exo run of Exo and Ninjak fighting the Vine. I love that cover.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different style.
He's a gamer artist, too. He's actually based out of here in Seattle, I believe. So, and I think he's only done like 3 covers in comics general.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's gorgeous though. I mean, I'm excited for the book and see where it goes. Not gonna let my wanting of certain directions go in my own thoughts to not let it happen. So, and one thing I want to add a question for you, and there's this little thing that's coming out in next month, a little Bloodshot Vin Diesel, and so I'm not gonna really talk about the movie. But what's it like being marketing during this time of Valiant with the books and a major motion picture coming out?
Dude, I don't even know how to put it into words. It is absolutely surreal. What I can say is that I'm very, very excited for you guys to see the movie and to, share your thoughts on it. I can't say whether or not I've seen the movie, but what I can say is I'm very excited for you guys to see it. I hope that's fair. I'm very looking forward to you guys seeing it and chatting with you guys afterwards. But yeah, dude, I mean, just first of all, working with Sony has been great. They've been terrific partners in this. We have regular communication with them about promotions that are coming up, about making sure we're on the same page with them for assets. I mean, our free comic book day issue, that has, Vin Diesel's Bloodshot on the cover. That's surreal to me. but also just, everyone at Valiant being able to watch the trailers before we upload them, going through all the images with Sony and, selecting which ones we would love to show off. It has been an amazing, amazing, amazing experience. And it was one that I never thought I would get to experience, because when the news was revealed about, a Bloodshot movie, I wasn't at Valiant. I've been only at Valiant for about a year and 4 months or so at this point. I was a fan. I was Comics Press. I don't remember if I was with CBR or Screen Rant or even with Midtown. I used to do their event. Midtown Comics. I used to do their events. I don't remember which job I had, but I remember when that news broke, it was amazing, man, because that is history right there. That is the first Valiant movie, and I am lucky enough to play a very small role in promoting it and to be a part of it, and it has been a dream come true, and I am so excited for you guys to see more. And like I said, working with Sony has been great, because as you could see on our covers, we have on top, or I'm not sure how well that's coming through,
Pretty
but
good.
on the top of all of our new issues, we have, we're letting people know the movie's on the way and the release date. And even on the poster, there's a code there where if people scan it, they get a free comic, a free Bloodshot comic to read. So they've been terrific. And like you guys saw in the trailer, it said inspired by the best-selling graphic novel. And without giving anything away, I know there was some debate about whether or not the name Valiant was linked to the movie at all. In the opening, it's in association with Valiant. So seeing that gives me goosebumps, man. And I know Eric. I know when you see it, man, I wish I could be there right next to you just to see how happy you would be. Because I know you have been an incredible Bloodshot fan. I know you have been anxiously waiting for this movie, man. And if we lived within driving distance, I would want to go see the movie with you. That's all I'm going to say.
My wife is going to have to deal with the fact that we're probably going to go see it like 5 times. So I seriously can't. Oh man, yeah. It's cool. It was nice to see the that header go on the books. Promoting the movie, and hopefully it also not only promotes the movie, because I think a lot of people know that this movie is coming, especially if you're reading Valiant Comics, but hopefully it also lets people know that these are comics that they may, not just Bloodshot, but other comics are comics that they may someday come to the screen and see come to the screen, and hopefully they pick up some of the other books and kind of get into the other characters that Valiant has to offer, because there's a lot more than just Bloodshot.
Dude, my dream is a Rye animated series. I think that would work so well. Do you guys have like a wish list for like what you would love to see for Valiant outside of the comics?
An Archer and Armstrong, or Quantum and Woody, like Archer, evening comedy, Adult Swim, yes.
Yes.
I'm going to go with a different answer, totally off the beaten path, but for me, I'd love to see more with Punk Mambo somewhere. Just because lately I've been really digging the character and all of her appearances.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to be like, I want more EXO, I want more of this character and that character, but there's something about Punk Mambo I just really like. So
Adam Gorham, you're on a lot of Punk Mambo on Twitter, man. I wonder what's going on there.
Man, I've been wondering myself.
Hopefully that means something that we get to see soon. But so
that'd be cool.
Maybe we'll interview him at Emerald City Comic Con and kind of pry it out.
Yeah.
So my dream, obviously, is a Bloodshot movie. We're getting that, so I don't even have to use that as my answer. So the second on the list for me would actually be like a long-form Netflix-style series, like Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever, series that you could binge of Harbinger.
Yeah.
Because I think Harbinger is such a big story with so many characters that if you make it into a movie, it has to be done perfectly for it to come across right. And I'm not saying that's not possible, but I think that if you could do a Netflix-style series with Harbinger, that would give you an opportunity to really flesh out all the characters, really get into the nuances. One of my favorite things about Harbinger is the kind of moral ambiguity of the characters. And I think that you can dive a lot deeper into that with that kind of long-form series. So that would be my, dream thing to see that we're not already getting.
Right. Yeah, all those would be phenomenal. What about you? What do you want to see, Greg?
This is me speaking as a fan, not an employee of Valiant, so no
Take notes,
teaser.
everyone. Take notes.
This is just me as a Valiant fan saying what I would love to see. This isn't a hint or anything. I would never be able to comment on that stuff. There are other parties that will have to discuss that stuff. But as a fan, dream projects, I mean, like I said, a Rai animated series, something, CGI, long form on Netflix or some kind of subscription service, that'll be so good. I'm a big fan of The Raid. Josh, I was told you also like The Raid.
That's my style of movie.
Yeah, man. I think if we were to get a Raid movie, the director Gareth Evans, if he were to do Ninjak or something like that, that would be incredible. Again, this is just me speaking as a fan. I think a Quantum and Woody kind of comedy or Turner Armstrong, that'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, I would want to see EXO as, an epic trilogy. How could I not? Yeah. But, man, there's just so much I would love to see. And, but yeah. And, of course, Bloodshot, because, that was one of the first Valiant comics that I ever read. But that's happening, and that is surreal. And, again, all I can say is I'm very excited for you guys to see it. Wish I could say more. I look forward to us talking in the future. That is all I can say.
That's awesome. So
I think a month from today, if there is because I know it releases on the 13th, but if theaters do a Thursday showing, which a lot of times happens, we could be seeing it a month from today. So, I'm counting the days. I'm ready.
Yeah, technically, I mean, a lot of theaters are probably going to have it on the 12th that evening. So, yeah, maybe you guys can, again, a day after Get Valiant. Maybe you guys have to do a special episode.
We might have to do 5. After each viewing.
The first one is just going to be me hyperventilating. Oh my god! Oh, you guys! Oh my god! Oh. And then we'll get to some actual content after that.
And so
that'll be good, man. If it's Eric's review of the Bloodshot movie, and it's you just not able to say anything.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh man.
Yeah, dude, that's exciting. And I have a question for you, and this is kind of more of a serious question. What do you think that Valiant needs to do to sell some more books, to get up there higher, to break in the top 100 more, to break in the top 10% of books more?
That is a terrific question, and that is something we discuss in great detail every day because there is no one correct answer for that. When it comes to the comics industry, there's so many different variables, and there's so many different kinds of readers. There's the core Valiant fans, where we have to work hard each and every single day to try to earn your trust and to keep you. We have to do that. Then there's the Wednesday warriors, the people who are your Marvel and DC fans going to comic shops every Wednesday to pick up their new stack. How do we try to convince them? If you love Marvel and you love Valiant, if you love Marvel and you love DC, you got to give this new Valiant book a shot. There are, of course, also the trade waiters, people who only select certain books. They may go into a comic shop every now and then, or they may get it via Amazon or Barnes & Noble or some other method. And then, of course, there is the unicorn of the comic book universe. There is the rare person who saw a comic book movie or a comic book TV show, and that has inspired them to go to a comic book shop for the first time ever and pick something up. So I think every single category, you need different ways to try to appeal to them, and it's something that I am not exaggerating when I say, and Matthew can attest to this. This morning, before I sat down and set up my laptop, we had a good chat for, I want to say, at least 45 minutes about this, because it's something that is vital to this company. you have to grow as a company. You have to maintain the faith and interest of your core fans while working to reach beyond that. And it is something we work on every day. I wish I can elaborate on strategies that we're going to try, but I just can't. I wish I could. I really can't, because who knows who's listening? Marvel or DC may steal it. No, of course not. And that's not a jab at either of them. I love publishers. If you follow me on social, you see I'm more than vocal about all the stuff I'm following and all the stuff that I'm a fan of. And if you see behind me, you see a variety of different things. You got Ninja Turtles, Kraven, Bane, the Old Man Logan poster. But it's a great question, and it has a very complex answer.
Right.
And it is, and I know I'm being redundant here, but it's really one that every single day we are working to find new ways to reach new readers. It is an incredible challenge, but it is a privilege to be a part of that and to help contribute ideas. And everyone at the team is bringing different ideas. And everyone at Valiant has different perspective that allows us to think in different ways. This morning I was chatting with Matthew, who is in the live chat right now. He is the VP of Sales and Marketing. He was with Valiant a few years ago. He worked at Forbidden Planet, so he brings his own perspective. I was with Danny Ward. She is an amazing comic book fan. She has so much experience working at comic book shops and engaging with, Wednesday Warriors, people like me who would go into comic shops every Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So it's incredible hearing what it's like for her and the way she would interact with a variety of fans. So everyone is bringing their different perspective and trying to bring new ideas, and we are examining every idea, and we are never saying no to anything, really. We're not saying no to ideas, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. We're gonna examine every idea and try to determine what seems like the best foot forward. And it's something every department is working on. I'm in marketing with Matthew and Emily Hecht. She's our digital marketing manager. She has so much fun on social media and our email campaigns, and she has been re-examining all of those things and the way she approaches them. And she has been having so much fun with these teasers. I work primarily with press because that's my background. I used to work at Comic Vine. I have written for Screen Rant, IGN, CBR, for About.com. I was the Marvel Comics expert.
I think I've even seen some great Midtown videos of you.
I'm glad you watched those, man. Yeah, and I worked at Midtown Comics for 2 years. I was in the marketing department there, and that was I got to set up events, and we got to do videos. Every Wednesday we would do Facebook Live, going down the new release wall, talking about every book that's out. And every time I was there, and every time there was a new Valiant book, I certainly did my best to try to remind people about it and try to push them towards it, because it was something I legitimately loved and still do. Yep. So that's why it's still surreal to me to every day go to Valiant HQ and be a part of it. It's still surreal to me. I still can't believe it. It's a big challenge, man. It's
big wide open question, so figured I needed to ask.
We're all up to the challenge. I know this feels like a non-answer, man, but all I can say is it's something we are all working at every single day and trying our best.
Awesome. All right.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
And so moving on, we have asked everybody to do Get Valiant in the chat. Let us know you are ready for some gifts, because I think we got some giveaways to give. Josh, you been keeping your running tally?
I have. I've been keeping up on it. So what are we giving away first?
So go for it, Eric.
I would say first, if it's cool with you guys, I'm down to give away a Quantum and Woody issue number 1. So anybody, hopefully somebody who hasn't gotten a chance to check this out, or if you have already gotten a chance to check it out, now you'll have an extra copy, and you can give it to somebody else and let them have a chance to read the book. Because this, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I love this book, and I think it was a perfect number 1 for Quantum and Woody. So definitely something that hopefully whoever wins it will enjoy, or like I said, be able to pass along to someone else to enjoy, and maybe make a new Valiant fan, new Quantum and Woody fan. So yeah,
just wait until you see issue number 2. I wish it's all about Dr. Toilet, and the stuff that occurs in there is so ridiculous that to even hint at it would spoil it. And it's something you'll just have to see for yourself to believe. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm sure J-Rob is very happy to hear Dr. Toilet is going to be making an appearance.
Have you guys seen the Toilet that he made?
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. Man. Did you see the masks that he did from this issue?
I shared them this morning. It's so good.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. We got to have him talk about Quantum and Woody #1, and we're really happy to be able to do that. Yeah.
So, Josh, winner. Yeah.
Okay, and the winner is Connection to the World.
Connection
to
the world.
Yeah.
All right. Get a hold of us. If you can get a hold of me on Facebook or any of us on Facebook, or give us an email at getvaliant@gmail.com with your information, and I will get this shipped out to you ASAP.
All right. The next package is a huge package that I got kind of curated, put together myself. And one of them is thanks to Gregg for sending this out, but is the Quantum and Woody yoga poster. So this thing is phenomenal. It's hilarious. You will want it if you're a Quantum and Woody fan. Next
is that one signed?
Oh, you know what? It is. Christopher Hastings, right? So, nice. Yes. So even special that you're going to get that. Then let's get into the other nitty-gritties to it. A exclusive EXO cat poster from Comics Dungeon. So you get a little cat cosplay.
That's amazing.
Move to the next realm. I believe this is Clayton Henry Secret Weapons, so of Livewire. So let's...
this is an amazing package that you're putting together here.
A David Berenstain, signed David Berenstain, Valiant color artist, on numerous package. What do we got next? Ooh, the Emerald City poster for their beer that happened from Fremont Brewery. This is Jeffrey Verighi's art, who's been a regular comic Valiant cover artist. We've had a lot of covers with him. And what do I got here? I forgot who did this one, but little Bloodshot action as well coming at you. So, cool little package. Lots of different ones. Oh, I think I missed one more too. Yes. And a Book of Death. So, quite a bit here. So, that's all coming in one package for one person. So, hopefully you like those posters.
All right. Who gets it? And the winner is Aaron Nagy.
Yes, I don't have to pay for shipping. Yes, he lives here.
That worked out.
So, Aaron, get a hold of me. Let's chat, buddy. Congratulations on that.
All right, so I have the same poster that I'm going to give away because I ended up with 2 of them somehow. And it's signed. And then I'm going to throw a couple extra things in there. I don't know quite what yet, but I'm going to make it worth it to whoever gets this. So that will go to... Man, whoever folded these things up so small, I don't know why they do that. Spillsville.
Nice.
Yeah. So same thing. Get a hold of us either through Facebook, we have our page, or just email us at getvaliant@gmail.com.
So
yeah, I have...
Yes. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I have one more thing to give away. So Valiant was nice enough to send us a copy of the Bloodshot trade, the Bloodshot Book 1. And then I realized after the fact that I had pre-ordered a copy, so I ended up with 2 copies of this awesome book. And I can only read it so many times and can probably read it all those times with 1 copy. So hopefully somebody else who is a Bloodshot fan like myself can get this awesome book and read this whole trade. And not only is it the story, but it's got a bunch of process art and covers and interview and, yeah, just a lot of amazing stuff in this trade. So Definitely an awesome one. Who's going to get that one?
That one will be going to Todd, TML 5280.
Todd. There you go. This is Todd's second win with us since he's been on here. So
What? Todd, get off our chat and quit trying to win stuff, man.
that's it. And then was there one other thing, Josh, that you knew that somebody had?
So a special giveaway this week. Sean Hayes, who has just ripped us off left and right with wins. No, just joking. He messaged us earlier and was like, hey, he's like, I would love to give something away. I've got a copy of the Ninja K Deluxe Edition. He ended up with an extra one. And he was like, I want to give it away on the episode, which is awesome, man. That's really
awesome.
great of you to do that.
Very valiant of him.
Yeah, and it's the whole series, if I remember correctly. I don't have it, but I have all the issues. So, let's see here. Our winner is... Nope, 4.5. Sorry. Oh, Scott. Scott Bloom.
Hey,
Scott Bloom. It's rigged in the chat, so you may have to draw another name.
Yeah, it's rigged.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. That's
So
Scott's
this
good.
time, Scott, you'll have to get a hold of Sean, which you can get through us if you need to. Just contact us. We know Sean, and he'll get that out to you.
And after you guys have all the addresses, can you please send them to me? And we at Valiant will, send a little something extra as well as an extra congratulations on winning.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Very awesome.
super cool.
That's...
Todd is asking if you want to do another giveaway.
Todd, what are you giving away,
I'm
bud?
down to give stuff away.
This could be an exchange grip all day long. So
He's got extra Dr. Mirage trades. Let's give away a Dr. Mirage trade if Todd
that's
wants
what
to.
he won from me last time. Hey, those are signed, man. Jen signed those. Those are left. So, not nice. So this week,
WTF, Todd.
this week we have Bloodshot number 6 and Rye number 4. We're gonna chat about those at a later date. Make sure you go pick them up. And then next week, it looks like, please tell me if I'm wrong here, Greg, correct me. 3 books coming out. Bloodshot 0, The Visitor number 3, and Dr. Tomorrow number 1 making its debut.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. It's been a long day. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but yeah, Dr. Tomorrow, definitely Bloodshot 0, and I'm pretty sure Visitor 3 as well. Matthew may be able to confirm in the chat, but I'm pretty sure, yes, it's all 3 of those.
Okay. Awesome. So we got a lot to talk about in a week or so, guys. So,
yeah.
Excited.
Hey, 2 Bloodshot books to talk about. Nothing wrong with that. That's going to be awesome.
And I think you may or may not hear some stuff coming out Friday. So stay tuned with Valiant with us on our page. And we should be sharing some information from you if we get something.
Yes. Right now the plan, and plans can always change, but right now the plan is Friday. Something will be released. And it may or may not show a little bit of an inside look at Shadow Man and Savage, as well as some other unreleased art for upcoming books. And next week, we have a full plate of reveals for a series that's on the way, a horror series that's on the way. It'll be a good week for fans of Jack Boniface.
Oh, sweet.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. I'm loving what we've seen so far. I think the images from Shadow Man we got so far look really awesome. So definitely excited to see what else is coming.
Yeah, it's got a killer creative team, man. I'm really excited for you guys to see the full team. I know you can definitely speculate on at least half of the team, which, in my opinion, I think the half that you can guess is a very strong fit for the book. I think it's great casting, and I'm very excited for you guys to see the interiors, all the covers, and some of the other stuff we have coming out. Right. Just reading some of the comments. Matthew says, we're talking about something else next week.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
But,
can't wait.
Yeah, before this wraps up, is there anything else you guys want to ask? Anything at all? I will either answer to the best of my ability or plead the fifth.
Sam.
I think you've done a great job of answering our questions. Oh, sorry, who's your?
I was going to ask Sam Wise or Ron Weasley. Who's the better sidekick?
You'd have to ask my wife. She's the Lord of the Rings fan, and the Harry Potter fan. I'm more sci-fi, but I guess Sam. I don't know, man. I don't have a dog in that fight.
There you go.
So then, Data are 7 of 9.
Oh man, Data.
That's good.
Oh no, I chose poorly.
No, Data's great.
Yep. I think Sam's the best in that, and because he brings potatoes. You know, you gotta love a guy who brings potatoes. So, you know,
potatoes are important.
They're important. So, dude, but we want to thank you. You've been awesome with your job and with us, and you know, the fans may not see it, but on the back end, there's a lot that's going on that you guys do for us, and we appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. And you guys, you know, doing this late every Wednesday, it means the world to us. And like I said, I watch from my phone every Wednesday night. And I always appreciate, you know, your honest feedback. So just know that I'm always watching. No, but I'm always watching it, and I'm very everything you guys say we're paying attention to. And we always love hearing, you know, what you guys honestly think about what we have going on. And next week, I am very excited to see what you guys think about a potential Shadow Man book and whether or not you see more of it by Wednesday, which you definitely will. But you just have to wait and see.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on. We want to say thank you to everybody in the live chat. Definitely congrats to everybody who got to win one of the giveaway items. And thanks for everybody that's interacted, asked questions, and given us your comments. Thanks to Matthew for hanging out with us. Definitely appreciated. Yeah, this was episode number 150. It's awesome to have gotten this far, and can't wait to get to the next episode and beyond and get some more awesome Valiant goodness. I guess it's time to wrap up and sign off. I'm Eric Baumgard.
I'm Josh Rathbun.
I'm Hooser.
I'm Gregg Katzman.
That's great. And I hope that you guys all stay valiant and come back next week. We're going to talk a lot about Bloodshot and maybe some other stuff.
Bloodshot's 1 month away. 1 month.